Hello, and welcome back to The-DeVores. In this episode, we cover Parker's very first full day in the ICU South at Baptist Health Hospital. I didn't take any pictures during this time. Honestly, photos and videos were the last thing on my mind. If you're following our journey and haven't subscribed yet, we would be grateful if you would please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications. That way, you won't miss the next part of our story. If you have subscribed, we are so appreciative. Now, to share the day's story with you. Inside ICU, Parker was being carefully monitored around the clock. His glucose upon arrival had been like 358. His blood pressure was high, and they were monitoring his EKG constantly and drawing more blood for testing. The staff was incredible. They were watching every detail, hour by hour, day and night. I knew he was in capable hands, but, it was still nerve-wracking and, of course, not knowing what the next hours could bring. While Parker was in ICU, I still had things that had to be done. From the house-sitting gig, everything we had needed during the month had to be moved out of that home. The trailer had to come out of storage, and I had to get it set up in Little Rock, all by myself. Now, we had learned each other's jobs just in case something like this ever happened. But you never really think you're going to have to use it. I decided to take the trailer out of storage first. Then I took it over to the house and started moving our things into it. It's amazing how much you can accumulate in just 1 month. As I was leaving, I stopped by Miss Shirley, a sweet neighbor a few doors down that I had become friends with. I had helped her in her secret backyard garden. It was beautiful. I told her what had happened with Parker and asked her to pray. That pause, that prayer felt like a lifeline in the middle of a very heavy day. Then, as I headed toward Little Rock with the trailer, it began to rain. I prayed the entire way in the Spirit, asking the Lord to surround me with His angels, to keep a hedge of protection around both of us, and to give me wisdom for everything I needed to do. When I arrived at the campground and started setting up, it stopped raining, thank the Lord. Then I ran into one of my first big problems. The hitch got stuck when I tried to take it off the sway bars. And that's the stabilizers for the trailer while it's being pulled down the road. I worked and worked, but nothing was budging. I looked around, and the trailers next to me didn't have sway bars like ours. But you know what? A few sites down, I spotted a trailer with the same kind. I saw a woman sitting outside and went over to ask for help. That's when I met Wendy and Walt. They came right over and helped me get everything unhitched. What a relief. I was so thankful for their kindness. Once the trailer was finally untethered from the truck, I finished setting everything else up. The electric, the water line, the sewer, everything was hooked up. But when I went to open the valves, I discovered that both the gray water valves were already opened. And even stranger, the black water tank handle was completely missing. Now I know Parker never would have left those valves open before putting the trailer in storage. And the handle definitely was not missing before. So what happened? Did somebody tamper with it while it was in storage? Was it somebody's thought of a prank? I still don't know. But what I do know is all that set me back almost 2 full hours. But eventually, Everything was hooked up and working correctly. By the time I headed to the hospital, Parker was worried. He had the staff call me while I was on the road back to the hospital because I had been gone almost 2 hours longer than expected. Family and friends also were so sweet, though. They were calling and texting to check on us throughout the day. And then that evening, Tom and Sue Edwards, friends of ours from Little Rock, came by to the hospital to see if I needed anything. Their visit lifted my spirits more than they will ever know. That evening, it went smoothly. With all the routine hourly checks and interruptions, Parker's glucose level that night had gone down to 167, but it's still a work in progress. When Parker finally settled in for the night, I went back to the trailer, crawled into bed, and prayed. Had a peace knowing that God was taking care of both of us. I slept peacefully. That day stretched me in so many ways. It was nerve-wracking, frustrating, and exhausting. But it was also filled with God's presence, with the kindness of strangers, with the prayers of family and friends, and the reminder that even in chaos, He provides what we need. We are so blessed and never truly alone. Thank you for following along with us. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next episode. We are not medical professionals. This video shares our personal journey and experiences only. Please consult your healthcare provider for any medical questions or decisions. See you next time. Goodbye.